Is up, family? Hey, welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live with me, your host, an international award-winning Make Every Second Count speaker. Now, guys, I am so pumped up. You don't even understand how pumped up I am. I know. I get pumped up every week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. for this show, but I am extremely pumped up tonight because the person we have on here tonight is awesome, and I really don't have too much of an idea what we're going to be talking about, but we're going to learn how she healed from the inside out. And that seems kind of weird, but so I ask you guys if you would please share this episode out. Invite all kinds of people to watch it. And don't forget to give us all kinds of thumbs up, hearts, frowny faces, cry faces, wah, wah. And you can even get mad at us. I don't care. Just help us track the algorithm on one of the social medias that we're on. And then also keep the comments coming. We want to have more of a conversation than make just a presentation. But we're here to help you, so ask as much as you can in order to learn. But with no further ado, I would like to bring to the stage Miss Roberta Campbell.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, how are you, Roberta?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I'm glad that you're in that seat this time instead of this seat this time. Yeah, because I was on her show before, in case you guys don't know. And it's called Unleash Her, and it's on all the podcast outlets and everything. So check Unleash Her out. You won't be disappointed. I promise you that. But can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? So, who you are, so what's your name, where you're from, and what you do? And I am going to be inviting a few people on my phone. So, I am looking down, but I am paying attention. Also, I want to let you and everybody in the audience know that I have been kind of sick. So I know I'm not, don't worry, I won't pass it on through the internet. But so if I cough or sneeze, I apologize, but just know ahead of time.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. Yeah, so I'm Roberta Campbell, and I live about 20 miles east of Cincinnati. I'm just,
OH,
yeah, I
there you go.
you know it. Yes, and I am an entrepreneur and I'm a best-selling author.
OH.
Yeah,
Darn it.
I am.
Darn. So, yeah, I all right. So I know from my own background that life has a tendency to throw things in the way, tries to hold us back at times, and just is difficult for people at times. But I also know that you can get through that. I know that life happens outside of the comfort zone. And if you stay within your comfort zone, you're not going to get through that. So I like to say that there are things that have to be grown through instead of just gone through. So, has there been anything that you have had to grow through that ended up teaching you in the long run that you had to heal from the inside?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jeff. So, so you know, really most of my life was pretty good. Okay. I had through a few little things that happened along the way. And I did go through a rough divorce and things like that. But it was in 2018. Um, I was an empty nester and I was a single mom. And my daughter, who was 22 years old at the time, was actually hit by a car while she was walking in the crosswalk of a street. And
Wow.
so that obviously changed our lives completely. And so that was really, the biggest turning point. I mean, being a single mom and her having to move back in with me right after just becoming an empty nester myself. And so it definitely changed my life. And, of course, I didn't handle it very well at first. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I didn't. It
So
was,
what do you mean by you didn't handle it well? Let's clarify that right there.
I just, I wasn't prepared and I was very frantic. I had a lot of anxiety. So I, just of the unknown, right? I'm sure the same with you after your accident, your family members not knowing what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I had to just turn to God and I had to have my faith and just pray and know that everything was going to be okay. And so that was, the most difficult thing for me. And it took years. It took a while. And she's still um, healing just as you are as well, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I say that, so I have to tell you, when I say that I healed from the inside out, it was because I didn't understand until that point um, that everything that I had been dealing with in my whole life, um, I wasn't in a good position to deal with it. So, meaning that I had some things, trauma, like past trauma in my life that I hadn't dealt with. And so, and really, when I looked at it, I was like, I never really even liked myself, you know?
Oh, I like you.
Thank you. I like you too. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
But I'm a lot more open about things now. And I healed through that. So when I say that I healed, I hired mentors. I hired Bob Proctor and Kathleen Cameron. They're mentors and life coaches that helped me along my spiritual path. And I also, the biggest thing too, was I have to tell you, learning to live the universal laws.
Yeah.
So that was understanding that, like the law of rhythm. Okay. So, whenever you're dealing with something that's really bad, always understand it's not going to stay there. Everything always works out. And so when I learned that with the universal laws, the law of rhythm up and down, you know, things will get better.
What would you tell? All right. How would you explain that to somebody that they consider themselves a realist? They they don't always look at the bright side, but they don't always look at the dark side either. They consider themselves a realist. So in the middle. So how would you explain that? Because they might see it as just blind optimism.
Yeah. No. So I tend to, yes, I see the things in my life, the bad things. I see them, but I don't put a lot of attention to it. I try not to get mad. I try not to get angry or, like I said, having anxiety. I don't do that anymore. And if I do, it doesn't last very long like it used to. So I've learned to just kind of go with the flow, I would call it more, right? Just
Yeah.
going with the flow and understanding whatever comes my way is maybe even just a lesson. Maybe it's something I needed to learn to grow.
Yeah. So, but I think this is funny because a lesson is a way to grow, and I talked about having to grow through certain things, and I just find that coincidence there to be kind of interesting that we both made the same point in different ways.
Yeah. And Jeff, the thing is that it's sad because a lot of people, you know, don't, how do I say, like we were handed some rough stuff. You've been through a lot. Okay. But if you wouldn't have gone through that, do you think you would have had your own podcast today?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't be where I am today because I would have been doing other things. I would have probably been riding my bike somewhere, surfing couches and riding constantly, but I'm not doing that. I'm unable to do that. So I had to find something else, a new passion in life. And that led me to the motivational speaking world, inspirational speaking world. And then I wanted to get involved in the speaking more. And I decided that I would start a podcast because that's a way for us to speak more.
Yeah, exactly. The same with me too. And I feel like because of all the things that I've been through and that I've learned, and because I came out of this a different person. So once I learned to start taking care of myself better and really like loving myself and asking myself, what do I really want? What would I love to do? And so now it's like, I know anything's possible, Jeff. I mean, I have my own podcast and I have my own book. I have a second one that I co authored, and I know more on the way. So I would
Um,
never have done that if it wasn't for, the adversity that I had been through,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And I want, first of all, I want to say hello to a few people in the comments here. So hi Dad, I'm glad you're watching. And then we have Ben Bruce Vane Jr., who says hello everyone, but he also says, "Hey, Roberta, it's a pleasure having you on the show today. You're highly welcome." And he is actually from Lagos, Nigeria, but he is in the wait, the Democratic Republic of Congo at the moment. And then he also says that we like you, Roberta. So,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
And he also says growing through things is key to overcoming life's challenges. I find that to be something that is really poignant. I mean, it's so true.
It
But
is.
we also have Judy, and Judy is like almost my aunt. And then we have Penny, who is my sister. And then we have Brian Heelig. He was on the show a couple weeks ago. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. I would love to ask Roberta your questions. But so I know other people must be curious too. How is your daughter now?
Yeah, thank you for asking. She's doing pretty good. And so, yeah, yeah. It's been 6 years since that.
6 years.
So it's been a long time. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and it is something that she knows because she has a traumatic brain injury and she has other invisible injuries. So it's something that she'll just have to learn to take really good care of herself.
Yeah. And I want to say this now, and hopefully it's still happening, but I think we're actually going to have you and her on the show together in March.
Yes, see, yes, I asked you about that because, we love talking about this. And we wrote a book about
Yeah.
traumatic brain injuries, which
Yeah.
is a concussion, because we want to help others know. And with March being Traumatic Brain Injury Awareness Month, that's why I was asking you too, if you do anything. So thank you. Yeah, we would love to come on sometime in March and talk about that.
All right, that's awesome. And I just put a picture of you and your daughter up here, and they're holding the book, and they're at the Ohio River, I believe.
Yep, you're right.
Cincinnati, correct?
Yes.
All
Yep.
right, awesome. Yeah, but guys, check out that book. It's called She Looks Fine, and it's all about her journey and her daughter's journey through having a brain injury and everything that way, getting back to life as they know it. So,
Yeah.
all right, but I'm curious of something. So, this show is called Make Every Second Count.
Mhm.
And while that seems like it could be a huge thing that is different to different people, what does it mean to you?
Oh, it means enjoy today, live in the present moment, and love everything about today, right now. Like, don't take it for granted.
This is the only second that's guaranteed.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So,
And we don't realize it, but sometimes we are living in the past because we're looking at all the things that didn't work out for us. And that's what causes us to be all depressed, right?
yeah.
And then if we're looking at the future, it gives us a little bit of anxiety sometimes because it makes us anxious about what we don't know. So when we just live for right now, just right today, it's so beautiful. It's so perfect.
All right. Now, is that something that you didn't call it make every second count, but living in the moment and celebrating those seconds. Is that something that you and your daughter did when you guys were healing from the inside out?
Yeah. Well, it did take a little while. I can tell you that. It was the first year was really, really rough. And then that's when I started making some changes and I hired the mentors and kept hearing, gratitude, gratitude, write down every day 3 things that you're grateful for. And so I started doing this and then it started bringing just more good things into my life because I was looking for that. So that was things. And then we're always like celebrate every moment, every little thing, every good thing. And the crazy thing is today she's actually moving into a new apartment. And
Wow.
so she's, enjoying that moment and living her best life. And I actually, Jeff, I'm partially moved into a new place myself here. So I'm we got internet today. All right.
Woo!
That was the most important thing. So I could be on your show. Or else
Yeah.
okay. Yes. So I'm so grateful. And that's what if we just look around to us right now, look at all the things you have to be grateful for.
Yeah. And, that is actually the perfect thing for me for that you said that
Yeah.
because I actually just released a new product, but this new product is free and it's called Make Every Second Count Guide to Gratitude.
Ooh, I
And
like it.
it is available on my website at www.jeffmarconetjr.com. So I had to put in that plug there, but you should definitely check it out. Share it with other people that are going to need it because it's needed in the world. People don't understand that even in the darkest of times, there's something to be thankful of.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And that's
And
what, like your journal. So we all, once you start doing something, like what they say, 45 days it takes or something to create a new habit. So once you start doing that, you'll start looking, you know, for things around you to be grateful for, and you'll start bringing more good things into your life.
yeah, and it's so weird. So this guide to gratitude has exercises in it that only take like 60 seconds to do. Let's face it, everybody out there has an extra 60 seconds. I mean, most people watch the coffee pot that long in the morning.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Or even doom scrolling on their phone. So I think everybody should go to my website and download that free guide to gratitude because I promise you will love it. But if not, it's free. You don't have to worry about it. Just throw it away.
That's right. Yep. I think everyone needs to get it for sure.
So I'm curious. Do you have any suggestions for other people that might be struggling, might be going through that storm at the moment?
Yeah. I mean, faith. Have faith. If there's nothing else in this world, just have faith and just believe that everything's going to be fine. It's going to work out. So faith is like strong. That is my word for this year. It's faith.
What taught you to be so faithful? I mean, were you raised that way or
I was raised in the church. Yes. Yeah. And so I've always had a close relationship to God. But
but okay, when you say faith though, I'm not thinking religion because you're just saying that everything is going to work out. How did you develop that strength of that faith muscle?
well, when I see things in my life, like, yeah, because I don't talk this religion. Yes, I did grow up in a religious family, but I'm more spiritual now. And that is like, I look at, like, there was a time that I say I hit rock bottom, like in 2020, because things just kept getting worse. It was like my daughter's accident, and then it was the next thing, and then the next, and then, finally I was like, oh my gosh, I just cannot do this anymore. I'm done. I don't know what to do. And there was a day that I just prayed and I said, okay, God, like God, universe, source, whatever you want to call, God, I call it God. And please, show me a sign. Just lead me. And that was it. It was asking, because we have to ask for it, ask for help. And then things just started coming to me. And I can tell you, Jeff, there was one day recently, this was last year. Okay. I was having a really bad day, and I was like, okay, God, like, you got to show me a sign. Like, I need a clear sign. And so I went home, and as I was walking into my apartment, I actually found a rosary,
Oh,
which I know that that's more, the religion part, but just to see that, because that is something I grew up with. So to see that, I was like, oh, wow, that strengthened my faith right there, because I knew it. There was my sign. So if you really are struggling, ask God. Ask God for a sign to show you something. Show me, lead me, help me. So that is faith for me.
All right. So what about the people that don't have that faith, that they didn't grow up in the church?
Yeah. Find someone that who's doing really well, who seems to be very grounded, and that seems to just have like good things happen to them in life, okay? Go to that person and maybe, ask them to mentor you. Just go talk to them. So find somebody that's been through maybe the same thing that you have, and never stop. Like that's what I did, was found the mentors and found life coaches. And some of us aren't able to hire life coaches or mentors, so find someone that who could possibly help you. We just have to ask. We're just afraid to ask for help.
Yeah. And you know, why is it that people are afraid to ask for help?
I would say because we just want to do it all ourselves. We want to be so independent and uh, powerful, or whatever else you want to call it. We don't. But I think there's also some paradigms behind that. So a lot of times, like the way that we've been raised, can cause us to have some issues with making decisions and things like that.
Yeah. That's very, very awakened.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that right there, I can tell that you have been through a lot of stuff and you've experienced the being too proud or too egotistical to ask for help. And I find that to be an answer that it's like you know now.
Yeah. And we love helping others. And so why would somebody not want to help us?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. We love feeling needed. And so when you're asking someone for help, that makes them feel good too. And they do want to help you. So I think you're right. You're right. It's pride and it's ego. That's what gets in our way.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
No, but the, I'm sorry to say though, but we've actually come to an end of time already. Can you believe that?
I know.
It's so quick. But I, I want everybody out there, including you, Roberta, to do me a favor. Wait, first, before I do this, I need to ask, do you have any contact information you would like to give out?
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Roberta Campbell Official. So you can find me there. And our book, She Looks Fine, is on Amazon.
Yep, and I have that address
And then
here.
my podcast, as you mentioned, is called Unleash Her.
Yeah,
So,
and that really won't help you because you can't click it
yeah.
and copy it, but you can at least see it. She looks fine. Daughter's Journey. That's what it's called on Amazon.
Yep.
So guys, check that out. Check her out on all of her socials. This lady is doing some fantastic stuff. But all right, now I need you, Roberta, and everybody out there to do me a favor this week, next week, and for the rest of your life. I need you to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when the seconds are going to run out on your one life. I'll see you guys back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And until then, have a fantastic week. Thanks again, Roberta. Have a great night.
Thank you so much.